Greetings, Saber fans. It's your old pal Megtooth Sith. Got a special project here. This is a Saber that is for Mike Perez. That's the True 1777 on YouTube. This is a Graflex 2.5 and it has been heavily modified. So the first thing we did, we added a 1-inch blade holder. I've added the Graflex tabs here and here on the back side. I've added a full shine-through glass eye. You can see the machining for that glass eye in a video that I published on my YouTube channel about machining sabers, rough guide. The blade retention is that hole right here in the tab. It's got a TFA translucent clamp card, and it's got auxiliary and power clamp switches, but it also has power red button. In addition, we've also added a pommel cap, which is TFA accurate on the Saber. It's kind of crazy because condensation's building up on the Saber here because air conditioning's on in my house. This Saber is also equipped with a Goth3D Designs Knight Chassis that's been custom painted. The squeaking you're hearing is actually the paint on the chassis, not the threads on the hilt. I can show you, see? But at any rate, this is the Knight chassis. Now this Saber is also equipped with Neopixels in the aft section and also lighting the crystal chamber. The clamp has been modified to tighten. I've added the correct slotted screw here on the clamp, and I've also added and countersunk the slotted screw here. I've also modified the clamp for 1-inch blades to get rid of the nubs on the inside of the clamp, and this Saber is also equipped with a blade plug that's made by Darkside Engineering, and that is an ARKM razor blade plug by Darkside Engineering. This is the Saber, and we'll get to the instructions in a moment, but right now let's roll that beautiful bean footage and see this thing in action. Greetings, Saber fans. Your old pal Megtooth Sith. This is Mike Perez's Graflex. Now, all the Graflex blades and all the Ray blades have tons of special effects in them, so I'm going to cover all the special effects, and you know that all the blades have these. You can twist the Saber to ignite it, or you can ignite power here or power in the clamp card. The first preset has this blade cooldown thing. If you don't like that, I can take it off. Let's go ahead and ignite the Saber and show you some special effects. Number one, boom. There's your ignition. Has localized lockup here in the center. Hard to see on a blue blade. It kind of blows out the camera. But it's also responsive, so it moves depending on whether you move the blade up or down. That section that's being locked up will actually move on the blade. That's your first form. The second one is your lightning block, which is double tap and hold power. 1, 2. There's your lightning block. Like you're blocking force lightning. Then you have tip drag, where you point the Saber down. And you have tip drag, where just the tip is illuminated white. Then you have stab, where you stab something, and the tip does a special stab effect on it. What you can also do when you're doing stab is press and hold power. Press and hold power, and you get the actual melt. And the melt color changes as you twist the hilt. Next we have blasters, of course, which is a brief press of ox. But you can also do multi-blaster by press and holding ox. You do a double tap and hold. 1, 2. Well, oop. Then every time you swing the Saber, it triggers a blast. It's called multi-blast. To get out of multi-blast, double tap and hold. And you hear another blaster, it means you're out of it. Now no more blasters while you're swinging the Saber. Swinging the Saber is normal. Clash is clash in the Saber. To get to color change, you press power and hold aux, and then you rotate the saber through 360 degrees until you get to the color you want. Once you get to the color you want, which I want that nice full blue for TFA, press and hold power. That'll lock in your blue. And then I twisted it to turn it off there. And you can see the blade cool down on the emitter there. Next preset. I'm not going to go through the special effects again. This is Broke Flex by K-Sith. Blaster blocks. Force. Next preset. That one also has blade cool down on it. So you can see the blade cooling, and then it fades off. This is the Rise of Skywalker Ray. This is by Kyberphonics. Oh, I'm sorry, this is the Rise of Skywalker Ray by Kyberphonics. Oh no, this was the Ray Saber. This is the gold saber. You see her ignite in the end. It also has blade cooldown. So here we go, let's ignite. You can see it's got that slight pre-on, listen. Then they have localized lockup. All of them have the same special effects. Next preset.
Did you come back to say you forgive me? To save my soul?
K-Sith Crossguard. With Fernando's unstable Kylo Ren blade. With cooldown emitter. Rogue One Vader. Hallway theme is the one on this one. You can see lightning block better on these. There's your lightning block on the red blade. Localized lockup. Responsive. You can see it moving up and down the blade depending upon the attitude you hold the saber. That's Fernando's genius. That's awesome. Next preset. TIE Fighter by Proplicator. White with green lockup. Also has force lightning, but it's not as pronounced on this blade. Luke Skywalker, of course, K-Sith, Return of the Jedi, Skywalker. This is a fully responsive blade. All the blades up to this point are fully responsive. The next blade is your first blade that's not going to be fully responsive, and that's your Yoda font. Has standard lockup all throughout the blade. Standard blast. Does have force lightning lockup. This is the Senate Majority. This was a custom free font that went out on open source. Watch that again. Watch this ignition. This is why I'm wearing the Carolina Hurricanes jersey. Mike is a Tampa Bay Lightning fan, and this one has a special soundtrack on it.
Brought him into the game as the Lightning just getting underway in this power play, only 7 seconds on it.
Yeah, no warm up, and you come into power play, the #1 power play in the National Hockey League.
Well, he's in this face-off, controlling it back for ahead to
Stamp
for the
post.
puck for a point. And they move it back around to Hedman. Nikita Kucherov. Hedman goes, fires,
That's your Tampa Bay Lightning blade with the Tampa Bay Lightning soundtrack. Next preset is Cantina to a blue blade. He didn't want a rainbow on here. Can you believe that? He didn't want a rainbow.
For your own good, stay out of this affair.
This is BMF, upgraded. Four sounds.
English, motherfucker, do you speak it? Well, I'm a mushroom cloud laying motherfucker.
Lock up.
I have had it with these motherfucking snakes on this motherfucking plane.
Retraction.
I'm still alive, motherfucker.
Profanity. Next one, which is funny because it's right after Mace Windu, right, is the Christmas. That's a candy cane blade. I don't know if y'all are going to be able to see it or not. Next is your battery meter blade, which you can see you're almost at a full charge here. And also the Mandalorian soundtrack is on your battery meter blade. After the battery meter blade, storage preset. So if you're going to leave your Saber turned on and store it in the storage preset. Always helps to ignite the blade and retract the blade in the storage preset, which you can do with gesture or the button. The reason I created the storage preset, it doesn't have any accents going in the pommel, or the crystal chamber doesn't have off behavior. So your battery should be preserved for the long run. So hope you like this video. Mike, I hope you like this Saber. It's an awesome TFA Graflex 2.5. It's awesome. Now we're going to roll that instructional video. So now that you've seen this Saber in action, let's show you how to use it. It's complicated. This Saber has been programmed with the latest OS, which is Proffie OS 4.5, and it has multiple features as you saw in the demo. The first thing you're going to want to know is your SD card access and USB access are here. If you wish to program the Saber or add additional fonts, there's your SD card access. There's your programming port access. The very first thing is this Saber is equipped with a twisting kill key, and you simply twist the kill key to turn it on.
Storage preset.
And right now it's in the storage preset, but if I change presets to the next one, which that's another thing. When you have the bottom of the hilt off, this clamp card, the auxiliary switch doesn't like to work because the auxiliary switch is normally supported by the bottom of the hilt. So if you have the bottom of the hilt off and you're showing off the chassis, you want to slide your clamp card forward to give you direct access to this clamp switch.
Graflex TFA HD.
There you can see the accent LEDs going in the pommel, and you see the crystal chamber pulsing because we're in off, and I'm going to twist it to turn it on. There's your on mode. Everything's fully illuminated, and now I'm going to put the Saber in lockup, and you can see everything goes into lockup. And then when it's in idle, the LEDs do a different program, and additionally the crystal chamber pulses when the Saber's in idle. So let's put the bottom of the hilt back on. Oh, before we put the bottom of the hilt back on, let's go ahead and show you how to recharge the saber. To recharge the saber, you remove the kill key.
Close your eyes. Feel it. The light.
You take your
It's
saber
always
charging
been
cord
there. It will guide you.
and you plug your saber charging cord into your saber, and then you plug, once you plug your saber charging cord into the saber, I'm terribly sorry, I'm fumbling here with one hand. Once you put your saber charging port into the saber, you plug your charger into the wall. Now on the charger that I use, which is this charger, this light will flash green, red, red when it's charging, and then this light will turn green when it's fully charged. Once the saber is fully charged, unplug the charger from the wall, and then unplug the charging adapter from the saber. Always do it in that order.
The light.
Then replace your kill key, and we can actually turn it on
Close your eyes.
for the demo. And we're going to screw in the bottom of the hill.
Feel it.
When we put in the bottom of the hill, number one, we want to make sure it clears the clamp switch lever
It will guide you.
and goes fully seated. Then righty-tighty on the hill.
Saber. Take it.
Now, on Graflex lightsabers with these Cobalt D-rings, the Cobalt D-ring, when you fully tighten the saber all the way, is actually here. Well, we don't want it there, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to loosen the saber until the D-ring is opposite of the clamp. The D-ring is totally opposite of the clamp, and we have one of the grips aligned with the clamp. Then I'm going to go ahead and tighten the clamp lever. Once that clamp lever is tightened, your saber's ready to roll. Simple operation. Every preset on this saber has a track that goes with it, and as does this first one. To play a track, to have a track going in the background, it's a 2-second press on power. 1, 2, and that is Ray's theme on TFA. Then you can ignite the saber in one of 3 ways on this lightsaber. Number 1, you can press the power. Oops, sorry. 1, 2. Press power. I'm going to turn the saber off. Or you can press the forward button in the clamp, will also activate the saber. A simple press and hold of the power either in the clamp or on the red button will turn the saber off. I'm going to turn the music off for a second because I don't want to trigger YouTube warnings. The third way to turn the saber on is a twist. And a twist means back and forth. 1, 2. Just like that. Back and forth. And it also back and forth turns it off. So there are 3 ways to turn the saber on. You can either turn it on with the red power button or the forward clamp switch or with a twist back and forth. And the twist is very gentle. Back and forth. Back and forth. Very gentle. And it's very hard to trigger that twist when you're wielding the lightsaber, which is why I use the twist mode and twist off. It is an excellent alternate way to power on the saber, and it's a pretty cool thing to show your friends. Let's talk about all the other features. So when the saber is off like it is now, there's a couple other things we can do. Number 1, we can press and hold auxiliary to give us the battery voltage.
4.10 volts.
4.10 volts is what it's reading out now, and that's pretty awesome. Also, when the saber is off, we have a volume menu. A 2-second press on aux puts us in the volume menu. 1, 2. Now, to increase the volume, you hit the power button. To decrease, you hit the aux button. You can hear the volume going down. When you hear that different tone, you're all the way down. Then press the power button to increase volume. When you hear that different tone, you're at full volume. To exit the volume menu, it's a 2-second press on aux. But before I do that, I want to say, if you're ever pressing the buttons and you're hearing these beeps, you're in the volume menu. Oop. The way to exit the volume menu is a 2-second press on aux. 1, 2. 1, 2. And we're out of the volume menu. Those are the Saber functions when the Saber is off. Next, let's talk about when the Saber's on. Number one, to initiate the Saber, you can do it in one of the three ways I showed you. Let's initiate it with a clamp card. Now the Saber is operating. This Saber has full shine through on the glass eye, as you can see here. But the Saber is operating. And also want to show you the razor blade plug. There you can see the razor blade plug in action, backlit with Neopixels. Now, the first function I want to show y'all is lockup. To get to lockup, you simply press and hold aux while the power is on. When you release aux, lockup stops. The next one is tip drag. To get tip drag, you simply hold the Saber pointed down direction and then click aux and press and hold aux. That gives you tip drag. The third lockup is lightning block. To get to lightning block, you press and hold power, but you do a double press. So you're going to double press, but you're going to press and hold on the second press of the double press. So 1, 2, hold. Now you've got lightning block. And that can either be done on the red button or this forward clamp button. It will go until you release the power button. That's your lightning block. Now, this Saber also is equipped with a stab, which is triggered by stabbing the Saber. And when you stab the Saber, you get effects on the Neopixel blade. But now here's another cool thing with stab. You can also initiate melt. You initiate melt by stabbing while you're hitting power. Oop. There we go. It's harder to do it without a blade in. So now it's melting. But you can change the color of the melt by twisting the Saber while you're melting. That's your third form of lockup. Now, another auxiliary function. Briefly, while the Saber is on, briefly pressing auxiliary will trigger a blaster. If you double tap and hold on the second press on blaster, you get multi-blaster. So I'm going to double tap, but I'm going to hold down on my second press. 1, 2, hold. Oop. There we go. Now, every time we swing the Saber, we will get a blaster. To exit multi-blaster, double press and hold. And then you're out of the multi-blaster phase. To trigger a force effect while the Saber is on, you simply double tap power. Either here or on the red button. Either works. I think those are all of the functions on the lightsaber when the mode is on. To retract the Saber, simply press power until the Saber retracts. Last tidbit of instruction, Mike, to get your blade plug out, or your blade retention screw is right here in this recess. Just above this slotted screw. So you're going to go lefty-loosey on that. And then to get the blade plug out, it's sometimes a challenge, but you got to pinch the bunny ears and the blade plug will come out. Now, when you're putting the blade or the blade plug in here, you're going to have to pinch these bunny ears because they're tight on a 1-inch blade. Because remember, this Saber was designed for a 7/8" blade. But once you get the blade plug down through those, you want to push the blade plug in so it's exactly flush with the outside of the hilt, and then tighten that blade retention right there, and you should be fine. Same procedure for putting a blade in. And color changing, which I did not discuss in your video. How you get to color changing is you hold power and then you press aux and you get a beep, and then you rotate the Saber till you get to the color you want. Once you're on the color you want, you press and hold power until you hear another beep, and then you're out of the color changing mode. The Saber will remember whatever color you selected. I do have saved preset innies on here. If you ever decide to add fonts or take fonts away and adjust the config, you have to make sure that you clear your any files on the SD card, or it will not allow you to make those changes. Hope you like the Saber. And that's that. Thank you all for watching. I hope you have enjoyed this video. Mike Perez, this is an awesome Saber on an awesome OS with an awesome soundboard. This thing is the bomb, and I'll clean all my fingerprints off it before this thing goes out. Thank you all for watching, and may the Force be with you, or the dark side, as it were.